What's going on, everybody? Stevey Luke here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to my live stream. Remember, I do a live stream every single Saturday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Just go over the general news of what's going on in the geek culture industry today. And today, I am doing a spoiler review for Deadpool 2. Hello to Batman the Legendary. How you doing? Before I begin, Batman the Legendary, did you see Deadpool 2? I would hate to spoil anything for you. You could just let me know, and then I'll jump right into it. I'm going to start off with a comparison to the first movie. In comparison to the first movie, I'd say I enjoyed the second one better. The first one's probably going to go down in history as the more classic of the two, but the second one, I enjoyed that one better. Like I found myself like on the edge of my seat more. I laughed a little bit more. It was more of an emotional roller coaster than the first one. So all around, I enjoyed the second one a little bit more than the first one. Not only just because it had more characters in it, because it did. The first one didn't have that many characters in it. The second one opened up that the Deadpool universe to, you know, the movies and stuff like that. Oh, you haven't? All right. Well, as long as you don't care if it gets spoiled or not, because literally I'm going to be breaking down the entire movie. So, I mean, you can back out now. You can back out now before I start. Just spoiler warning starting now. Okay, so the first scene, he's in Hong Kong and he's killing the gangsters. First of all, I thought that Dolly Parton song was a stroke of genius. I thought it was like, wow, I didn't expect that to be the opening song for the Deadpool movie. But anyways, so Deadpool was just being Deadpool, killing people, cutting off their heads, cutting off their hands. I think I especially like the part where he started speaking Spanish and he was like, "Donde está la biblioteca?" which translates to, "I don't bargain." I couldn't contain myself. And then he comes in, he crashes through the window. Uno, dos, tres. I lost it. Just started counting, got lit up with the ball of bullets, got shot. And then he just went and he did what Deadpool does, which is kill everybody. So kudos to that opening scene. Definitely set the tone. It was like, okay, this movie's going to be exactly like the first movie. So yeah, that was that opening scene. In the short term, Deadpool is still a contract killer. He's working at Sister Margaret's. He still gets the gold cards, and he's going around and he's doing pretty much the same thing that he did when he was Wade Wilson. And I thought that, that's actually interesting, because the thought did cross my mind after the end of the first one. I was like, what is he going to do now? Is he going to stay as a contract killer? Is he going to settle down with Vanessa? Is he going to start a family? Like, what is he doing now? So he's keeping up with the contract killer life. And yeah, so that was the opening scene of Deadpool. I'm just going to jump right to the meat and potatoes. So Vanessa dies. Oh, I'm sorry, that's such a big part of it, but just Vanessa dies. And it was something that you just didn't see coming, because obviously as a contract killer, Wade makes a lot of people angry. And obviously the one guy that kills Vanessa is someone that Wade was hired to kill, and he almost succeeded, but he didn't. So the guy that he was trying to kill was still alive, and then he found Wade, ended up breaking into the apartment, kills Vanessa, and I didn't know how to react to that. I was like, because the opening scene was so like, oh yeah, this is so Deadpool, it's humorous, we're laughing, Deadpool is killing people, this is awesome. And then wait, what? Did you just kill her? Like, the opening credits said at the back, wait, did you just kill her? Like, what is this about? Why did you just do that? And then towards the end of the movie, I realized, wow, her death really set the tone for the rest of the movie. Like, yeah, it was still funny throughout and you still laughed, but like, her death just loomed over you for the rest of the movie, especially after she died and we actually see Wade like in pain. Like, we saw him in pain in the first movie, obviously, when he first got turned into the way that he was. But it was just like, whoa, like, Vanang, you did not see that coming. And that set the tone for the rest of the movie. right after her death, like he immediately just went after the guy, bull rushed right into his car, and then grabbed him and pulled him in front of a moving truck, which obviously didn't hurt Deadpool, but the guy got slammed. So yeah, that really hit me hard, and I didn't agree with it at first. The first time I was watching the movie, I was like, what did you just do? What did you just do, Fox? Why did you just do that? Why did you just take this character who's supposed to be like this, breaking the fourth wall, slashing people, making funny jokes? Like, why did you just take this character and give it such a dark tone all of a sudden? And after a while, I was like, no, wait a minute. This is actually a good thing. Because now we get to see, okay, how does someone like Wade, who hides his pain behind humor, how does someone like him deal with that? And the movie did a good job of exploring that. So yeah, that was just that darker tone made it so much darker than the first one. Like the first one had its moments where it was pretty dark, but Deadpool 2 took it to like a whole nother level. So yeah. Moving on to some happier topics. After Wade tries to blow himself up, obviously he fails. Colossus finds him and brings him to the X-Mansion. And I was crossing my fingers. I was hoping they were going to have the X-Mansion like more involved in this movie. And they did. Like Wade actually got to go inside. Colossus was actually like helping him as a friend, which Colossus is such a good guy. Like just think about how the way that Wade treats the people that are close to him, and then like particularly Colossus, and then you see that he's a really good friend, and it makes you want to have a friend like that. But yeah, so Wade's in the X-Mansion. I died laughing when they showed him rolling around in Professor X's chair. I was like, yes. I knew they were going to do that. I was so hoping they were going to do that. I just thought it would be like an after credit scene or something, but they actually put it in the actual movie, and they gave him a good amount of time in the chair too. He was in the chair for a good solid 2 minutes. It was great. Oh, and then the cameo by all the other X-Men, because once again, Wade was complaining in this movie, like, wow, how come there's no other X-Men? How come it's just you and Negasonic Teenage what's her name and all that stuff? And then it pans over right behind him are all the X-Men from like X-Men Apocalypse. You had James McAvoy, you had the guy that played Beast, Quicksilver, I can't remember if Mystique was there. I can't remember if Magneto was there either. But they were all like standing in a little room right behind him, and then you just see Beast like close the doors as if to say like, Colossus, you're on your own. I just thought that was a good little touch, especially because hopefully Disney will be purchasing Fox soon. I know that Comcast threw in an offer there to see if Fox would take that, trying to disrupt it, but it hasn't happened yet. So hopefully Disney will still buy Fox. But we're getting off track here. Really enjoyed that cameo. Definitely brought the movie back to a lighter place. Just that whole scene in general, it brought the movie back up. Like right after Vanessa's death, it was like, and then we get to the X-Mansion, and then Deadpool's cracking his jokes about the X-Men, and you see the little cameo. It just brought everybody's spirits right back up. So basically, Colossus convinces Deadpool to become an X-Men trainee, which I found that so funny that everybody was like, you're just a trainee. You're just a trainee. Like even the little kid was like, yeah, you're just a trainee. It was great. Okay, so let's talk about some characters now. Let's talk about some new characters that weren't in the first one. Let's start with Russell. So I think Russell's character was a very important character to have. One, because he said it himself in the movie, you know, how many times have you seen a plus size superhero? And I think that's a big jump, because looking back on all the Marvel movies and looking back on all like the X-Men movies and the DC movies, we don't really have like, you know, a larger superhero. So I think that's a good thing that they threw that in there just to show, hey, we're actually starting to branch out. We're actually starting to accept, you know, people like that. That doesn't have to be like a handsome white guy with a charming smile. You know, they can actually have it be different people, which I thought was a great touch. Russell as a character himself, I thought at times, you know, he was a kid, obviously. You know, he was just this teenager, you know, and especially that prison scene where he's like, oh, I'm going to shank the biggest guy in here. And then he just gets knocked out. There were times when he still had that naivety about him. But then there were other times when you saw like that killer instinct in him. First of all, his powers are incredible. Like just looking at it. And Fire Fist is the perfect name too for a guy with his powers, just shooting flames right out of his hands. Like his powers were, I don't know. I mean, obviously there were generic fire powers, and we've seen people like that before. But hey, I thought it was a great power, and it was very destructive too. And I think that's what led to his more evil nature, which we get, which Cable tells us more about later on in the movie. But at first, you know, in the beginning of the movie, you just see that he's just a kid. He's a kid that's been abused. He was in this foster home, didn't have a mother or father. Nobody wanted him. You know, he was tortured. He was called an abomination because he was a mutant. And it's just, he was a very complex character, and you could understand why he would have a darker side starting out to it. We didn't see it at first, but then we started gradually like, okay, now we're starting to see it here. Okay, all right. Especially after he met his friend, which we'll go over later on in the stream. Let's talk about Cable. Where do I start with Cable? Oh my gosh, Josh Brolin is like, he is just the guy for roles like Thanos and Cable, like the darker characters. Like you could, like, obviously Cable isn't really a villain, but he's definitely an anti-hero. And Josh Brolin just played it phenomenally. Like, just like Ryan Reynolds is like the only guy that can play Deadpool, now Josh Brolin is like the only guy that can play Cable. Like, it was absolutely awesome the way, like, just his voice. I'm just going to say this right now. If you just closed your eyes and listened to his voice as he talked, first of all, he didn't sound anything like Thanos. That was one of my concerns going into it, was that I was going to be listening to it and I'd be like, okay, he sounds just like Thanos. Like, this is just like watching Thanos, only he looks normal and has a metal arm. But he didn't. He had like that grittier voice. Like, oh, my wife and daughter died. I'm from the future. My name is Cable. And it was perfect. So kudos to Josh Brolin. Awesome job as Cable. I really want to see him the English words. I really want to see him reprise that role in a later X-Men movie, maybe in another Deadpool movie, because Josh Brolin killed it. Like, just that first moment when you hear him, he goes, "My name's Cable." I was just like, oh, this guy is perfect for this role. Awesome. Like, nerdism, like 2.0. Finally get to see Cable on the big screen with Deadpool. And, you know, they started out on opposite sides, and we knew that from the trailer that they were going to be, you know, fighting at first. They started on opposite sides, but in the end, we got to see the dynamic between the two of them interacting with each other, and it was absolutely incredible. Ryan Reynolds and Josh Brolin on screen together, they had like the perfect chemistry. It was literally like, okay, I respect you, but I'm going to mess with you. Like, that was Deadpool's like attitude about it. He's like, I'm gonna mess with you. I'm gonna see how far I can push you. I'm just gonna tease you and nag at you. And Cable was just having none of it. And it was just great seeing that dynamic on screen. My favorite scene between Cable and Deadpool was probably the taxi scene, where they're both just going back and forth, and Cable was just like, I got a newsflash for you. You're not a hero. And then Deadpool's like, well, my heart's kind of in the right place. You know, I'm trying to help out this kid. I'm not giving up on him. You just want to kill him right off the bat. So I feel like, you know, if we're talking about who's, you know, the good guy, who's the bad guy here, you're kind of being the bad guy. I loved that dynamic between the two. Okay, so that was Cable. Let's talk about all the X-Force characters. If you're just joining in the stream, welcome. This is my Deadpool 2 spoiler review. So if you haven't seen Deadpool 2 yet, spoiler alert, and we're starting with X-Force right now. So obviously we see that Deadpool is recruiting different heroes to fight against Cable and to, you know, basically jailbreak Russell out of prison. And they end up killing all of them within the first 5 minutes that we show them. I found it great that they had like this big build up towards X-Force. Like, they showed them off in the trailer. Then they had this big like recruiting scene where Deadpool's like reading off all their resumes, and they're like telling them Deadpool, you know, what their powers are. And then we see that scene in the helicopter where they're all like gearing up, and Deadpool gives this big speech about how this was the family that he always wanted, and he never felt like he belonged. Then they all jump out of the plane, and they all die. And I was like, I just didn't see it coming. I was like, all right, here we go. We're about to take out the convoy. We're going to break Russell out of jail. And I was like, oh, well, there goes one of them. Oh, no, there goes another one. Just got killed by a helicopter. Oh, wait, oh, nope, that one also died in a wood chipper. Oh, wait, nope, that one just lost his arm. Oh, okay, all right. So X-Force is all dying now. The only member of X-Force to survive was, coincidentally, Domino, because her superpower is obviously luck, which that was a great scene, too, with Domino and Deadpool. You know, what's your power? I'm lucky. Like, that's not a power. Yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. Let's meet in the middle and say no, it isn't. That was a really funny scene, too. Too funny. So let's talk about Domino for a little bit. I didn't expect that much from her. Like, I knew she was going to be like a supporting character, but I didn't know she was going to be like that much of a badass. And it was great. It was great watching her. Like, and I just remember the scene where Deadpool's going, I don't understand how luck could be a superpower. It doesn't sound cinematic. And she's like, she's running through the street and none of the cars are hitting her. Like, a car gets flipped and it just misses her. And then like the light pole falls down and it gives her something to like jump off of. It was just too funny. Let's see. What else about Domino that I thought stood out? Just her sarcasm. Her sarcasm was so funny. She brought that like grounded in reality type of character to the movie. And plot twist, she grew up in the same foster home as Russell, which I thought was crazy. I was like, oh, that's actually pretty interesting. I don't know if that's how it was in the comics. I don't know that much about Deadpool as far as the comics goes. Like with Domino and Cable and all of them and all the other X-Men. I don't know much about them as far as the comic goes. But from the movie, I'm like, hey, I'd watch a Domino solo movie. I'd watch a solo Cable movie. I thought these guys were great supporting characters. You know what we need? And everybody's saying it. We need a solo movie for Peter. That could be like a Deadpool spinoff or like a little like one shot that Marvel can make. Because you know Marvel's always making like the one shots. Maybe Fox can make one. You know that's all about Peter. You know, like what Peter does after X-Force. So yeah, that's what I thought about Domino. Great supporting character. Cable too. Both of them brought a lot more to the table than I would have expected. Excuse me. And they just made the movie like that much better. So moving right along. Okay. I'm looking at my outline here. And the next thing that I wrote down is probably the best thing I've ever seen in a Fox superhero movie. And that is the Juggernaut cameo. Once again, spoiler alert, kind of already did it for you, but the Juggernaut cameo. Like, did anybody actually like see that coming? First of all, like, did anybody predict that? Because I certainly didn't. I thought after the way they botched Juggernaut in X-Men: The Last Stand, I thought they were gonna stay away from those characters for a little bit until they sorted themselves out. But it looks like they did, and Juggernaut was done correctly in this movie. Like it was great. The helmet looked correct. He was just this unstoppable character. And when I saw that Russell like befriended him, I was like, oh boy, Deadpool's got his work cut out for him now. Oh, when Deadpool first saw Juggernaut, he's like, oh, Juggernaut. I died laughing, especially when he said, I've always dreamed of seeing my reflection in your helmet as you charged at me with murderous intent. I don't mean right now, though. And then Juggernaut just rips him in half. Loved it. Thought it was great. I mean, finally, Fox is starting to go back and do over all the stuff that they did wrong. So Juggernaut, good first step. Deadpool, obviously, that was the biggest fix that they've made so far. But now they're starting to actually like bring these characters back together and doing them correctly. Juggernaut is a big first step with that. Love that cameo. Hat is off to Fox for doing that. It was great. It was like that unexpected twist that was like, oh, okay, well, now I don't know if Deadpool is actually going to win now. It was really good. Okay, moving right along. I'm going to keep this moving. Let's talk about the final battle. So Russell's end goal was to go back to the foster home where he grew up and kill the headmaster that tortured him for so many years. And Juggernaut was like his backup. It was like his sidekick going into it. And I thought that was very surprising how Juggernaut was like going along with whatever Russell said. Like, I was like, really? Like, you guys are like besties now after you shared one day in prison and Russell freed you, Juggernaut? Like, or like, I don't know if Juggernaut ever planned on parting ways with Russell or like using Russell to further his own agenda. But whatever the reason, Juggernaut was like this with Russell. They were like best friends. And So when they finally got to the foster home, that's where we got first opened up that door. We see Russell wearing the sunglasses and wearing the hood, like he's trying to act like a gangster. I was like, oh, okay, this is not the same naive kid that we saw in the beginning of the movie. He's not like that frightened kid who like is having trouble controlling his powers. He just like unleashes them whenever he wants. Like he's focused. Like he has a mission and he wants his vengeance. Like he wants his revenge. So that final battle was definitely hyped up. When they arrived at the foster home, and Deadpool was like, "What's with the dirty teddy bear that you got hanging from your belt there?" And then Cable turns and looks at him and goes, "It's not dirt. It's the blood of my dead daughter." I was like, "Oh, Deadpool done goofed. Deadpool done goofed." I thought it was too funny. So they're all charging into battle. And Dopinder, how could I forget to talk about Dopinder? Dopinder was once again Deadpool's driver in this movie. Like wherever Deadpool had to go to kill somebody, Dopinder would drive him. And he was like, "I want to be a contract killer just like you. Like I want to have the same sense of belonging that you do." And in that final battle, Dopinder was like, "I'm joining up with you guys. I'm going into battle." And they're running in slow motion. And Deadpool just looks over and you see Dopinder like, "Yeah, let's go get it." And the second he saw Juggernaut, he was like, "I'm gonna go back to the car," and then he went back. I was like, that's too funny. So Deadpool's whole goal during that final battle was that Cable gave him 30 seconds to actually like turn Russell back to the light side before Cable killed him. And then the battle with Juggernaut happened, and Juggernaut was, needless to say, kicking their asses, and until Colossus came in. And when Colossus showed up, first of all, that scene where once again Wade had something going through his head. If you remember the first one, Wade had a knife in his head and he was hearing music and he was like out of it. He was acting like he was like drunk. Same thing with the fight with Juggernaut. Juggernaut threw him on top of a metal fence, had the spoke that went through his head, and he looks up, he sees Colossus, and he's just like, "Daddy," like, you know, like that type of attitude until Colossus pulled the smoke out of his head. And then we got to see Colossus versus Juggernaut, and like Deadpool said, big CGI fight coming up. As far as the fight between the two of them went, I mean, it was kind of like the fight between Colossus and Angel in the first movie. Like Colossus was really getting his ass kicked for most of the time. I mean, he had his moments. Especially because he started fighting dirty, like Deadpool taught him. He was like, "Yeah, go fight dirty, Colossus. Go, don't play by the rules. Rules are meant to be broken." So Colossus went in. He started fighting dirty with Juggernaut, and I mean, for the most part, Juggernaut had the upper hand until Negasonic Teenage Warhead showed up with Yukio, and then it was 3-on-1, and through a large display of teamwork, the X-Men triumphed over Juggernaut. So yeah. So that's what happened there. And then that final part, that one scene where, once again, this is where Deadpool 2 is more of an emotional roller coaster than the first one. We get to see like Deadpool actually try to stop Russell. And no matter what Deadpool is saying, like no matter how much Deadpool says, "I relate to you, I understand where you're coming from, I'd want to kill him too, but you're just a kid, this isn't you, don't do this." No matter what Deadpool said, Russell wouldn't listen. And I thought that once he put the collar on and said, "If you're going to kill somebody, kill me," I was like, are they actually going to kill Deadpool in their second movie? Like it was touch and go there for a while because Cable attempted to kill Russell. Deadpool threw himself in front of the bullet, and obviously because he had a power inhibitor on, he wasn't healing. And I was like, "Oh no, are they actually gonna?" I was like, "No, they're not really gonna do it. They already killed Vanessa in this movie. Are they actually gonna kill Deadpool? Are they really gonna kill Deadpool? Are they really gonna do that to us?" And then we get one of the funniest death scenes in like movie history, and that is like Wade pretending to die and then bring everybody back, and then pretending to die and then be like, "Oh my gosh, it's so hard to die. I just love being around you guys so much," and like everybody's starting to cry and get emotional and stuff like that. And I'm just sitting there like, this is just classic Deadpool. Like after like the 3 times where like he grew still and then started talking again, like he pretended to die and then started talking again. After like the 3rd time, I was like, all right, they're not going to kill him in this movie. So, and there you had it. Cable went back in time to the point where they were right about to go in to the foster home to stop Russell, and he slipped the skee ball coin, the skee ball token, right over his chest where Cable would have shot him. And then after that, Deadpool's like, you did that for me, didn't you? And once again, we got to see that little interaction between Deadpool and Cable, where Deadpool's like, how far can I push him? How much can I push his buttons until he snaps? And after that, Cable, after sticking a knife in his dick, Deadpool finally backed off. So as far as what made Cable do that, I mean, obviously, I feel like he did really do it for Deadpool, and he just didn't want to admit it. He claimed it was because he wanted to make sure that the world didn't just fall apart the way it did in his future, that he was going to stick around and make sure that he kept the world on the right path. But I think deep down there were some motives there where he was like, I can't let this guy die. You know what I mean? Like, he just tried to sacrifice himself for this kid. I can't let him die. He's a good guy at heart, even though he drives us nuts. I can't let him die. So that was the reason why I think he made that choice. And now here we are. We got a big setup for Deadpool 3. I'm really hoping they make a Deadpool 3. We got Domino in there. Colossus and Negasonic are still in it. We got Cable in it now. I mean, it's going to be good. I really hope they give us a trilogy. I really hope they give us a third movie just so we can have a Deadpool trilogy. It's going to be good. Now, let's talk about one of the best parts of the movie, and that is the after credits scene. Negasonic Teenage Warhead fixes Cable's time travel device and gives it to Wade. Gives it Wade. And then we get to see the biggest fourth wall break in comic book movie history, and that was Deadpool going back in time to fix all of the past wrongs. And the first one of that was, one, he saved Vanessa. So now Vanessa's back in it. So she's still alive for Deadpool 3 now. And two, he killed that, I don't even want to call it Deadpool. He killed that thing that was an X-Men Origins Wolverine that was supposed to be Deadpool. And he came out, he was like, hey, don't scratch it, just me. I'm just fixing up some stuff in the timeline. And he just shoots the Deadpool guy to smithereens. And then my favorite one. Ryan Reynolds holds up the Green Lantern script. He's like, welcome to the big leagues. Boom! Gets shot in the back of the head by Deadpool. I was like, yes! Yes, Deadpool. Thank you so much. So now that stuff never happened, according to Deadpool. That stuff never took place. Green Lantern never happened. That X-Men Origins Wolverine guy never happened. And Vanessa is still alive. So all is right in the Deadpool world. And that after credits scene, I have to say, if we were to choose a favorite scene for me from this movie, it would have to be that after credit scene. I don't know. If any of y'all are watching in the stream, jump down in the chat. Let me know what your favorite stream is in Deadpool 2. And if you're watching the replay, jump down to the comment section. Let me know what your favorite scene from Deadpool 2 is. And talk about that a little bit more in length later. So last thing that I got here that I want to talk about is options for Deadpool 3. As far as, like, we got all these other different supporting characters now, like Domino and Cable are in the mix now. I think that, I mean, I'm not really sure where they could go from here. Like, I definitely think that in Deadpool 3, Wade and Vanessa should have a kid. Like, they should have a child. Deadpool should be a father, and there could be a lot of bunch of different jokes with that. I'd love to see more X-Men characters. Excuse me. I'd love to see more X-Men characters in Deadpool 3. Like, they did a good job throwing that little cameo in Deadpool 2, but, like, I want to actually see them have some lines. I want to see them play maybe a supporting role in Deadpool 3. Let's actually start to merge these two universes together, because that's the way it's meant to be. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would love to see in Deadpool 3. There's one option that I wrote down here. I don't think it's going to happen, but I want to hear what y'all think. Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. Do you think they should make that Deadpool 3? Let me know down in the comments. Let me know in the chat if you're watching the live stream. Do you think they should make Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe Deadpool 3? In my opinion, that would be a bold, risky move, but hey, it's Deadpool. They were making bold and risky moves since the first movie. So I really think that is a possibility. They're probably not going to do it, but I really think that's a possibility for Deadpool 3. So let me know what you think down in the comment section below and in the chat. What do you think they're going to do for Deadpool 3? Alrighty then, guys. That's all I got. That's my spoiler review for Deadpool 2. Let me know down in the comment sections what you thought of the Deadpool sequel. Did it live up to the original? Did it top the original? In my opinion, yes, it did. It did top the original. I really want them to give us a third movie, even though, you know, that's a big risk because third movies don't always turn out well. X-Men Last Stand. But I really think that they should give us a third Deadpool movie just to say that we have a Deadpool trilogy. So let me know what you think down in the comments of Deadpool 2 and what you think about Deadpool 3. If you're new here, make sure you Hulk smash that subscribe button for me. I do all stuff around geek culture. Remember, I do live streams just like this one every Saturday at 7:15 p.m. Eastern time. So let me know down in the comments of my videos what topics you want to do on the next live stream. Make sure you hit that like button before you go. Show your boys some love. I do reaction videos normally throughout the week, and I will be starting gaming content. Here's a little, I'm going to give you a little secret for those of you guys that are watching the live stream. The first gaming thing I'm probably going to do is going to be a UFC 3 career mode series. So let me know. Look out for that. That's just for you guys that are watching in the replay or in the live stream now. I'll give you a little bonus. See, I give you guys stuff. I give you guys stuff if you come watch the stream. So, yeah, that's all for me for now, guys. Thank you guys so much for all the continued support. We are closing in on 300 subscribers. Can you believe that? I started YouTube in February, the end of February, beginning of March, and I'm already almost at 300 subscribers, and it's all because of you guys. So once again, thank you guys so much. Keep the love going. Share the wealth. Share the videos. Share everything. Just be happy. Be happy in your life. Remember, you know, the only person that can bring yourself down in life is you if you let other people get to you. So just be happy. Always remember to smile. All right, guys, that'll do for me for now. Until next time, my name is Stevie Luke, and I'll catch you later.